And covering that event when it happens at 6 straight up. Thanks very much. Well, let's hear from the Cruz campaign. Joining me now is Ron Nehring. He's the California chairman for the Cruz presidential campaign. Happens to be on the other side of the coast.
Great to be here.
Thank you, sir. It's been a tough day for the Cruz campaign, has it not?
I think this is the type of thing that happens when you're the front runner. Ted Cruz has been the candidate who consistently is, for the last several weeks, gaining strength, moving up both in Iowa and nationally. He's who everyone is talking about. So naturally, this is the time when, as the air kind of comes out of the Donald Trump balloon, they're looking for anything that they can do to try to pump that up. And so you see the Sarah Palin thing today.
It's not an insignificant thing. She has been influential in Iowa in the past. Joni Ernst. I mean, it was very helpful to her.
I think that will have an effect on the national cable programs and the like. But what happens on the ground is a different story. I think we've seen the strength of our organization on the ground in Iowa. I've been there twice with Senator Cruz. I've seen the amount of organization, the effort that's really gone into that, and that's really what it takes for the caucuses. My state is a primary state. You go in, you can cast your ballot by mail, you can just show up for a couple of minutes, drop your ballot, but if you go to the Iowa caucuses, you've got to make a commitment to go there for a certain amount of time, and that's why I think that strong evangelical support for Senator Cruz only gaining strength, even while he's come under attack from Marco Rubio, is working well for him.
One could argue that the more significant development today is not Sarah Palin, but it's what Terry Branstad, the governor of Iowa, said. It's not often that the governor, a sitting Republican governor, goes after the Republican frontrunner.
Well, I think that, we all know why that's taking place, right? We know that the ethanol subsidy issue is a big one. If you're a statewide elected official in Iowa, you have to be on the side of those federal subsidies for ethanol producers.
Not all Iowans think they're subsidies.
Well, that's certainly true. But Ted Cruz has taken an all-of-the-above approach that we should not have subsidies for any form of energy, and that there should be a level playing field for that.
He sort of is, I want to say, softened his position on this. He wanted to get rid of them immediately, and now he doesn't. He wants to phase them out.
It's a phase out, right. But if you take a look at the
was that done for the purposes of sort of calming people down in Iowa?
Well, you'd have to ask Senator Cruz that in terms of it, but everyone knows that Senator Cruz has taken a principled position on issues like this. And if you take a look at the ethanol lobby, which has been throwing everything that they can, including the kitchen sink at him, they certainly don't think that that's been any type of significant change. But we know where Governor Branstad is coming from, and that's understandable. But the important thing is, if you can't go to Iowa or any state and take on even one special interest, how are you going to go to Washington and take on 100, 1,000 different special interests and remain true to your principles? I think that's what the real lesson that's come out of this.
All right, Ron Nehring, California chair for Ted Cruz. Thanks for coming out here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Coming up, the Clinton campaign.